The psychology of a child who grew up too fast. It doesn't start with trauma. It starts with responsibility. Inside many high-functioning adults lives a neglected inner child asking, "Why didn't anyone protect me?" You're 7, 8, or even 10 years old, standing in front of a parent who is falling apart. Maybe it's addiction. Maybe it's rage. Maybe it's silence so heavy it feels dangerous. And without anyone saying a word, something clicks inside you. If I don't hold this together, no one will. That is the moment a child disappears. Stay with me, because if this resonates even a little, this video will explain why it shaped your entire life, how it still controls your relationships, and how to finally step out of survival mode. But before we go deeper, let me tell you a short story. A little girl learned very early how to read moods. She knew when to stay quiet, when to smile, when to become invisible. Adults praised her. "You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong." No one ever asked her the most important question: who's taking care of you? That child didn't grow up. She adapted. And adaptation has a cost. What's really happening in the child's mind? When a child is forced to emotionally support adults instead of being supported, psychology calls this parentification. The child becomes the caretaker, the peacekeeper, the emotional regulator, the protector. This isn't maturity, it's survival. And survival rewires the brain. The child learns that love is conditional, that their needs are dangerous, that other people's emotions matter more than their own. So they disappear, not physically, but emotionally. The hidden pattern that follows them into adulthood. When a child grows up too fast, they develop hypervigilance. They're always scanning. Is everyone okay? Is someone upset? Did I do something wrong? Chaos becomes familiar. Calm feels suspicious. They learn, if I manage everyone else, I'll be safe. That belief doesn't fade with age. It becomes a personality. How this shows up later, and most people don't realize it. When these children grow up as adults, they often become hyper, independent, emotionally guarded, and exhausted achievers. They struggle to receive help from others. They don't trust love that doesn't require effort. They confuse productivity with worth. They apologize for crying. They flinch at compliments. And the most painful part, they often don't know why they feel this way. Because when dysfunction is normalized early, the nervous system accepts it as baseline. Why children choose this role? No child chooses to grow up too fast. But every child will abandon themselves for attachment. This isn't weakness, it's biology. When safety is missing, the child trades authenticity for belonging. That instinct saves them. But what saved them then often imprisons them now. The invisible grief no one talks about. Inside many high-functioning adults lives a neglected inner child asking, "Why didn't anyone protect me?" That grief doesn't disappear. It waits. And it shows up as resentment in relationships, fear of being a burden, difficulty setting boundaries, exhaustion that never lifts. This isn't laziness. This isn't brokenness. It's unprocessed grief. The turning point, healing doesn't start with fixing. The first step isn't self-improvement, it's witnessing. Because until you name what happened, you'll keep minimizing it. It wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. I turned out fine. But fine is a mask. And deep down you know it. Healing begins when you stop idolizing your strength and start honoring your wounds. What healing actually looks like, healing asks you to do something terrifying. Go back. Not to relive the pain, but to finally show up for the child who had no one. To say, you didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now. This process is slow. It's emotional. It's honest. It involves an inner search of any of these traits mentioned and more, or a sober reflection of your childhood and any negative effect you notices. Cry out if you can and let it go. It's proof that what was frozen is finally thawing. A powerful truth to end with. Carl Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world asked you to be strong too soon. So if you grew up too fast, know this. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now, you do. You can choose softness. You can choose rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions. You never had a childhood, but you still have a future. In this time, you get to grow up the right way. If this resonated, please like this video so it reaches someone who needs it. And tell me in the comments, what responsibility did you carry too early in life? You're not alone, and your story matters. Subscribe to Family 360, where healing begins with understanding.